Hey everybody, welcome to your Midweek 5, and I'm excited to just try to hopefully pass along a little encouragement as you're navigating through your week. And so I want to kind of continue a conversation that we began on Sunday. If you caught the sermon, the message from our church on Sunday, we're talking a little bit about this process of working from our pride and getting to this place of where we allow God's forgiveness into our life and how that overflows into kind of an attitude and a posture of forgiveness toward other people. So I'm going to kind of pick up from there, encourage you to go back and check that out on one of our different avenues of where you can do that. But for today, I want to kind of just drill down on this concept of pride a little bit more. But before I do that, I want to reference kind of an illustration, but something that actually really happened. If you've been on social media or anything at all, you're probably familiar with what will go down as possibly the most famous face smack that's ever happened. At this point, you've maybe heard about Will Smith laying the smack down, if you will, on Chris Rock over some comments that Chris Rock made regarding Will Smith's wife. It was supposed to be a fun joke, but anyway, Will Smith did not receive it that way. And so while they were at this awards ceremony and this happens, Will Smith, something moves him to get up from his position and then kind of abruptly walk up and smack Chris Rock across the face. So you can Google it, you can see it for yourself. But when I saw that happen, and everybody's attacking Will Smith over what he did, and there's probably a place for conversation about that. But my thought is, and I kind of relate this back to myself, and maybe you can think on this as well, is it's really easy to focus on what happened, but I think the deeper question is, why did it happen? Why did he respond in that way? And could his response be coming from some place of pride within himself that he felt was violated? Now, I bring this to a spiritual context because in the story we looked at on Sunday in Matthew chapter 18, and then thinking about our own lives, we're talking about this idea of pride. And in the story that we were looking at on Matthew 18, there is a response from this individual in the story. He's kind of the focal point here. And we can look at what he does, and I think it's important to do that. I think it's important to look at our own actions. But I think what we can't miss is the why underneath that action. And so I think sometimes as we're navigating through our lives, we need to not stop at just what we're doing. We need to take a look at why we're doing it. And so two things that stand out when I look at this, and I just want to encourage you today. It's kind of a challenge, maybe more than encouragement today, but I think the encouragement will come when we let God reveal some things to us and the breakthrough starts to happen in that regard. If you only stay on the what space, we'll just kind of stay where we are. It might change your behavior a little bit, but the breakthrough won't really be there. I think God wants to work through the why behind the what. And so here's kind of my challenge as I look at this text. We need to take notice of what we run to and run from in an excessive, extreme amount. I'll say that again. We need to take notice of what we run to and what we run from with an excessive or an extreme amount or response. And I see this in this story, right? So this guy has this massive amount of debt that's piled up before him and that he owes back. And the text says that that he runs and he falls on his knees before his master and he begs basically for mercy. And so this is an example of this guy running to something with this extreme response. He is running to. And I would say, what does that reveal to us about him? He's running to something. He is trying to get something fixed. He is running to someone to solve his problem, to alleviate what is going on in his life. But on the flip side of this, when we see him in kind of the master seat in the story and one of his servants coming to him, we actually see him running from something with an excessive response. And so we look on in this story, and we saw this on Sunday, that his servant comes and begs for forgiveness, but he runs from extending forgiveness back to his servant. And he has this kind of excessive response to, and it's really him running from extending forgiveness. And it says that he grabs the man, he begins to choke him, and he basically says, no way, I'm going to forgive your debt. And so the takeaway in this for us to think about today is, what is it that we run to with an excessive response, and what is it that we run from with an excessive response? I think that both of those can kind of be a window that we look through and we see, and it may reveal some things about us that are actually holding us back from taking our next steps of faith with Jesus. What is it that you run to excessively, and what is it that you run from excessively? Maybe you don't really know the answers to those questions, so your prayer just becomes before God, God, would you help me to see where I'm running to excessively, help me to see where I'm running, what I'm running from excessively. And I think God will start to speak in that. And so again, that's kind of a challenge today. But again, I think the encouragement will come when we give God a chance to speak into both of these areas of our life. So just a little bit of an overflow, I guess, from the sermon on Sunday. Marinate on this, think on this, give God a chance to lean into your life and your story a little bit more, asking yourself, what is it that I run to excessively, or run toward excessively, and then what is it that I run from excessively? I think those will lean in, maybe even reveal some areas of pride in our own lives that we maybe need to deal with, so that we can walk more closely with Jesus. All right, have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to the Midweek 5 again next week.